cute as hell.
Hey. But you... Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Our Dark Materials, a podcast about the BBC/HBO TV series His Dark Materials. I'm James. I'm your host. This week, my demon would be in the form of a goat. I'll let you guess why. And with me is my co-host, Josie.
They can't see your shirt.
They can see it.
Okay.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Josie.
And what shape is your demon?
I'm going to have my demon in the shape of an Arctic snow fox because it's fucking cold outside.
It's chilly and they're floofy.
They're so floofy.
They are floofy and we are punchy today.
In the show, it looks like a
Pan
little
is the best.
a corgi fox.
Oh yeah,
Thing.
I kind of see that. Yeah,
It's adorable and floofy, and I want
floofy.
it.
Okay, as I said before, this is episode 5. It's called The Lost Boy. And why don't you give us a rundown?
Okay, so my recap for this episode goes as Lyra and company are officially in the north, heading towards Bolvangar. Joan Fa asks Lyra to check the alethiometer to see what they can expect when they get to Bolvangar. When she does, she learns that it is protected by the Tartans, but it also tells her that she needs to go to a nearby town because there is something there that she needs to see. After a little bit of convincing of all of the adults in the group, Lyra leaves with Yorick for the day trip. When she arrives at the town, they feel like something is off even before she goes into the shack and finds Billy, Ma Costa's son.
Billy Costa.
Where he is there without his demon. He is noticeably in bad shape. They take Billy back to the Egyptians where he spends the night with Ma and his brother Tony before passing on. The group all agrees that they need to fight all the gobblers and rescue the children. They have a funeral pyre for Billy and they sing a dirge to honor him. The group is attacked in the middle of the night and Lyra is kidnapped away. She wakes up at the station. Side quest. Lord Boreal meets with the private investigator that he hired a few episodes ago to spy on John Perry's family. He tells him about the mom and the son before fucking Boreal goes out and talks to Elaine, the wife, himself, pretending to be a colleague of her husband's from about 20 years ago.
Roughly 20 years, yeah.
Boreal learns that she believes her husband died 13 years ago in his trip to Alaska. Elaine is spooked by the visit and can see that she's being followed both by Boreal and his PI.
She is on top of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the people around her aren't, and they just think that it's her mental illness and don't take her very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
We learn that John Perry knew he was going to be gone for a very long time because he set up an account to send money to his family while he's been away. Boreal's lackey suggests that they break into Elaine's house to find out more about John Perry. And that is my recap for this episode.
That's a quick-ass recap.
I know, I've gotten pretty good at this.
You've gotten pretty damn good at this. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into it.
It opens with a prophecy.
A prophecy from the witches. And we are going to really talk about this in our spoiler section because I can't really talk about this without spoiling shit.
But
so
it does. Okay, so I'll talk about it then. So it opens with a prophecy, which is introducing that a boy is also a part of it and that he is going to be going through the journey with Lyra. And it, recaps the fact that she has to do the thing without knowing that she's doing the thing, and nobody can tell her that she's doing the thing or else it will ruin the thing. We don't know what
is the thing.
But yeah, that's really it. Just the fact that they're now introducing a boy who's later on we learn his name is Will.
Spoilers. Not really. We do find out that his name is Will within this episode.
He has to have a name.
It's like his next scene. Yeah. It's
But yeah, so that's like the very beginning.
That's super cool, super intriguing, and all of that.
And then we jump into the whole group on their long walk.
Their 4-day trip
Lee
to Balvanger with lazy ass Lee with his
not
lazy
an
ass
easy man
bunions.
to like.
Nah, he's a lazy ass. I said lazy ass 3 times in 30 seconds.
And that was basically all we got from that little scene.
Yeah. I got that there's a shit ton less snow in the Arctic than I expected.
There is a
up
lot.
north.
Okay, I guess they're not. This shows that while they are officially in the north, they're not in the north.
They're not in the Arctic.
Yeah,
it's we're north, but we're not Arctic.
Yeah.
Canada's north, but it's not Arctic.
It's not constantly covered in snow, I guess.
Are they in the Canada?
They're in Alaska. Alaska's not always.
They're not in Alaska.
No,
they're technically in the UK, but
I'm more trying to compare it to like the areas that we kind of have. Question mark.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then it switches over to Lord Boreal, who is spying on John Perry's family, and this is when he gets out and like straight up pretends to be a colleague.
Yeah, he is like, oh shit, is he going to accost her? No, he's just going to try and bullshit her to get some information.
And she is just like, who the fuck are you? And it's clear that she's also noticed the PI before. Now, like she kind of sees him and she kind of recognizes him.
She's like, oh, I know that face, but from where? We're going to get a heartbreaking backstory for Will, aren't we?
Yeah.
Will's going to be a super heartbreaking.
I mean, it's already kind of is. Like, his mom clearly has some OCD going on. The very first thing it shows is her shutting and locking and relocking the door.
Yeah, doing the lock.
And I think they're trying to, I think you mentioned while we were watching it that they were trying to play, like, people think she has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
But really, she's being followed.
Yeah, I think...
Or it's being exacerbated by the fact that she's being followed.
Yeah, like if she has schizophrenia, it's a very, very low level, but people treat her like it's really...
really bad when it's...
almost non-functioning in society, which is shitty because people with mental disorders can still function within society.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a thing that they start to question with Will as like, oh, does your mother need help? We can find places for her and stuff like that. And it's like, Will's like, no, I can take care of her. But that's later on.
Yeah.
That's later on. It's super sad though.
So John Faw is finally accepting that Lyra's input and is actively asking her to ask the alethiometer things.
Yeah. And it's kind of because he's noticed that Yorick is a lot more helpful.
Oh, yeah.
This armored bear can pull this tractor up this dune of grass.
Yeah.
And we're able to get past this area so much faster. Gee, Lyra, I guess you were right.
I guess you were right that we wanted this bear. And then, they don't have him looking over at Lee, who's being a lazy ass.
Who's a lazy ass and probably being in the tractor being pulled up by Yorick.
Probably. I mean, they do show him later on in the episode pushing.
Yeah, he does work a little bit more. But so Lyra's got a little spring in her step and is feeling a little confident.
Yep,
and she goes and checks the alethiometer, some questions.
And then she's confused.
She's confused because it's something about a ghost. There's something about a ghost.
Yeah, she doesn't quite understand what the alethiometer is trying to tell her. And at this point, John Faw, he does kind of take it seriously of just like, okay, I get that it's telling you something, but do you actually need to leave for it?
Yeah, it's because it is connected to Bolvanger. It's what the alethiometer is telling her anytime she asks about Bolvanger.
Yeah.
Because Lord Faw is like, can you get us information?
Yeah.
And she starts to go
and it's pretty much, hey, you need to go to this town in order to get some more information.
Yeah, but it's guarded by the Tartans.
Yes.
Who have like 40 guns and bigger guns and stuff like that. And then it's like, there's something else, something about a ghost. And
yeah.
Lord Faw just like kind of brushes that off. Like, Yeah.
Totally. He tells her to talk to Moncosta.
Yeah. After she pushes.
True.
Because it's kind of like, okay, I got the information I wanted to get. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give a shit about this other information that was just offered to me.
Yeah.
And I kind of understand that, but it's also, trust this thing, asshole. Mm-hmm. If you're asking it for advice, follow its goddamn advice.
It tells the truth always. It doesn't know how to lie.
What. Yeah. But,
yeah, so she talks to Ma Costa about the village and Ma, like, she understands that it's important, but she also is just like, no, I don't want you going too far away from me, and I don't want to slow down the group because we're trying to get to Ball of Anger as soon as possible, but I do understand that there's something you need to know about this.
But also
she just doesn't know what to do.
She doesn't know what to do, and at this point, it's also Lyra going by herself.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of how it's being pitched, is that Lyra's gonna go investigate this mystery all on her own.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like put out there that Yorick's gonna go with her the whole time, but they do kind of make it seem like she's gonna go off on her own.
It's kind of later on because, like, yeah, I guess, hey, Yorick, you can take her, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, last minute thought about Yorick.
Yeah.
But ghost is important.
Yep. In between all of this, there is flashing back and forth between them and Elaine. This time Elaine goes to Will's practice boxing. This is when we found out his name is Will.
I thought this was his school.
Oh.
Like, he was at school.
And she just went in the middle of it.
Like, PE thing. I'm like, wow. They have boxing in UK, like, PE classes?
They have boxing in US PE classes.
I never knew about that. Like, that was never an option for me in high school or anything.
Was it always after school things?
Boxing was not allowed. It wasn't at my school in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, well, maybe it wasn't. I know wrestling. Maybe
wrestling
I'm confusing
is not
boxing and wrestling.
But this was straight up boxing.
No, you're right. I think it was just at a local gym, though.
Yeah. Just an after school activity thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily sanctioned by the school.
Yeah, so she goes and she's worried about the person who visited her, and the boy that he's boxing with is a real dick.
Yeah, he's like,
I actively said out loud in the middle of the show, punch him in his mouth.
Yeah. So, like, they were sparring a little bit before, and then his mom came in, and, like, Will got knocked down during their sparring match, and then
the boy got knocked down as well. They both knocked each other down.
I thought Will was knocked down twice.
Oh.
And then Elaine came in, and then the boy was just a total ass. Like, I'm going to talk shit about your mom, and I don't really know anything about her in any way, shape, or form.
She clearly has a problem, and he's just like, your mom's here.
Yeah, so Will just, like, fucking beats him down. It's like, you don't talk bad about Will's mom. And we see that Will actually can fight.
Yes, he can.
He is a fighter. He is a survivor.
He's not going to give up. Okay, anyway. So we move on. The teacher shows that he cares by asking about it, but I think it's like, well, they're kind of hinting at this, but not full on going on about the fact that, like, she clearly needs more help, but if she's to get that help, Will would be taken away.
Yeah,
and put kind of into the foster system.
And he kind of, like, tries to brush over that by, like, there are adults that can help because adults are able to help and stuff like that. But Will's too proud to accept that. But he's also, no, I'm not going to be, like, swept up into a system and stuff like that. He knows what would happen. It's
sad, but the thing is that, like, in real life, he needs somebody taking care of his mom, and he needs someone taking care of him.
He does.
Not him taking care of someone.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that she needs to be somewhere else.
No.
They need help from somebody.
Yes.
And that's perfectly fine to accept.
Yeah.
But Will is dubious of that, and understandably so.
Yes.
So.
Oh.
Nice.
Sorry.
Let's jump over to Kaisa.
Oh, yes.
Giving
Kaisa
some
shows back up.
foreshadowing.
He tells Lyra about her father being held captive by the Bear King, is what I put him as, by Yorfor.
Yofor.
And they kind of just brush over that a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a, have we checked in on Azrael yet this episode?
Yeah.
We check in on Azrael. We find out that he's got plans. Go figure. He's always had plans.
Right. And then it switches over to Fardacorum and Seraphina. We finally get them
to
together.
see Seraphina, and she is a babe.
Yeah, she's amazing. I love the short hair on her.
Love the short hair. More clothes than I expected.
What? Kind of.
So, yeah, because in the books, the witches are described as dressed in silks.
That's true. She's kind of dressed in rags, it looks like.
Kind of raggy, but like, I guess I just assumed more flowy type. Mm-hmm. A little more provocative, but not
But also, I think in the book,
purposely
she
provocative.
stays on her broom.
Yeah, hangs out on her cloud pine, yeah.
Yeah, so she's a little more wispy on that than she is just standing on the ground like a normal person.
Yeah, but with here, she's like just like zooming around like Peter fucking Pan. And that it's going to be something to get used to.
Also, Lost Boy, Peter Pan.
Got that reference. But Father Coram
is rude to Seraphina.
Well, he's rude, but he also gives her the pitch as to why they need the witch's help.
Yes.
He's on a mission, and she's just like, let's reminisce about old times. It's been forever since I've seen you. And he wants to do that, but he also needs to rescue these children.
Yes.
And it kind of, in a way, it's kind of, he wasn't able to rescue their child.
Yeah.
So he needs to make up for that by rescuing these children.
There was no way he was going to rescue that child.
But it's what he's put upon himself.
Yeah.
And I think he lost his child, so he's going to do his damnedest to make sure nobody else loses their child.
Yes.
And that is a noble thing.
Yes. In this scene, we also find out that the witches have known of the other worlds for thousands of years. That the veil is thin within the aurora.
The aurora. Which kind of makes sense as to why we're able to see that city within the aurora.
It was kind of hinted at last
time. And it's the city that we saw a photograph of in the very first episode.
Yeah.
So the witches have known about all of this, and the rest of us are just kept playing catch up. This is why the witches are awesome. Like, witches are the best.
They know everything.
They do.
They know a lot.
They know more than you think you do. Trust your local witch.
We switch back to I'm sorry, I just go straight from that. We switch back to Elaine and Will. She's clearly very sensitive. She might have a mental illness, yes, but it's clearly being made worse by Lord Boreal. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, she has first and foremost, she has OCD.
Yes.
That you can tell. There might be a little bit of schizophrenia with paranoia.
And we're, of course, not diagnosing her.
No.
They kind of cover this in the book.
But it's straight up like her paranoia is being shot off the charts because she's actually being followed.
Yeah.
There are actual people staking out her home.
They're literally out to get her.
And not doing a great job at it.
No, they're not. And I think they just don't think that she would see them, so they're not trying to be super stealthy.
Yeah, they're diminishing her.
Yeah.
Because, here's this crazy lady. We don't have to try that hard.
Yeah, I think that too. We find that Elaine has been hiding letters from Will's father.
Oh.
Tells him that they're not for him. It's not ready yet. She's protecting him, and she chooses not to show him. Back to Lyra.
Lyra is sent on a mission.
Yeah, John Fall relents and lets Lyra go, asks Yorick to take her.
Yeah, she finally gets to go on her side quest about this ghost and is like, hey, Yorick, you can take her, right? And he's like, she weighs less than my armor. I can carry her easily.
That was the one difference from the show and the book, is that she's just like, I'm not very heavy, and he's like, I am not a horse.
I am not a horse.
And it's funny.
Wait, I'm gonna try. I am not a horse.
That
was a bad Werner Herzog. That was a bad Werner Herzog.
I don't.
I am not a horse.
I don't. I don't know this.
I'm not heavy.
I really
I'm not a
liked
horse.
in the book where they talk about like why he doesn't need to bring his armor because he's not going into war.
He's not expecting a fight or anything. Yeah.
And then she's just like, I hope it's okay if you're carrying me. He's just like, my armor weighs way more than you, child.
My sky island was higher more than yours.
Yeah. And so
I'll stop with that. I apologize.
I really hate that voice.
I'm sorry.
Lyra learns that Yorick is no longer a Svalbard. Is it
Svalbard.
B? Two V's or a V and a B?
Svalbard.
Okay, well, Svalbard bear, and that he was exiled because he killed another bear.
And bears don't kill bears.
It's not allowed.
He was not himself.
Lyra learns that you can't trick a bear, or at least she's told that she can't trick a bear, and she says she's like a bear, or some part of her is a bear, just like some part of her is Egyptian.
Yeah, and it's kind of neat foreshadowing. I keep saying it's neat foreshadowing and it's like not talking about it.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's basically no human can trick a bear because a bear does not think along the same ways as a human. So to a bear, a human's moves and motions and desires are always telegraphed.
Yes.
So it's interesting I'll trick a bear, you'll see. Just like, so you're not going to be human? Or what's going to go on here?
Yeah.
But we'll find out. We jump back. Oh. I'd like to point out with this whole, I'm not heavy, I'm not a horse, there's finally some fucking snow up in the north.
That's right.
It went from like nice grassland area with a little bit of snow.
They were further north than they were before.
And now it's all snow. It's
Yeah.
pure snow.
Yeah.
But finally, snow in the north. Snow in the Arctic. So we jump over to Will.
And yeah, his mother, Elaine.
Back to Will making for him and his mom. I think that he was making dinner. And I just didn't get dinner or food typed into my notes.
Either way, he made her an omelet.
Okay, making food. And my note is back to Will making for him and his mom.
Making
So
food.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's making food. He made an omelet. He made omelets, yeah.
Yes.
She starts comparing Will to his father.
Yes.
That he's... I did not write down exactly what she says.
So I didn't either, but she talks about how like
He's brave,
he's brave,
steadfast,
and a protector,
Yeah.
and he's also going to finish what his father started. What his father was doing is not over yet,
and that Will take up his mantle.
Yes.
Essentially is what it all boils down to.
and that she says that if he wants to, he can read the letters. It is probably better for him to read them sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Then we come back. Lyra and Yorick come upon the village at dusk. No one is around. Lyra finds a lit lantern on the ground for no reason other than plot and picks it up.
It's a magical plot lantern.
It's just
It illuminates the plot.
on the ground,
Yeah.
lit up.
Okay.
I really like the line when she asks about him being scared because she's scared. He's like, I am not, but when I am, I will master my fear. And then she becomes her mantra.
Yeah,
When
the
I am
mantra.
frightened, I shall master my fear. I liked that.
It's a good thing. It's like admitting that you are afraid because that's nothing to be ashamed about. But you know that there's something that you need to do.
Yeah.
So yes, I am afraid, but I am still going to do what I need to do. And she starts, like you said, it's her mantra, and she starts chanting that to herself as she comes upon the shack and goes on in, and soft gasp, it's Billy.
We knew it was going to be Billy, and I'm still angry that it was Billy.
And we're going to have a moment of silence for Billy.
But it can't be too long because this is still a podcast.
So Lyra freaks out.
Well, of
Understandably.
course.
Pan's
like, I know we're
out.
supposed to help, but I really don't want to be here right
Pan's
now.
like, where's Ratter? Where's his demon? Where's Ratter? And that's something that, like, was not really shown. Well, It was shown by Pan freaking out.
Yeah.
But it's not something you
And
might
of course, them not showing.
Yeah, it's not something that you might have realized until Pan started
It's
doing that.
true.
But basically, Ratter isn't with Billy in any way, shape, or form. And that is terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
But Lyra, with Yorick's help, brings Billy back to the camp.
Yep. Ma Costa immediately realizes that Ratter is missing.
Yep. Our hearts continue to break.
Billy just like falls and collapses to the ground. They take him off for the three of them to be together. Lyra finally understands what the alethiometer was trying to tell her about the demon being
About
like
the
a ghost.
That he was a shell without a soul, essentially, because Ratter wasn't there.
Nope.
And Lyra wants to go and help comfort Ma Costa and Tony, but Lee kind of holds her back, and
Yeah.
I know you want to help, but that won't be helping them. And
It's not your place right now.
yeah.
And they, as a group, besides like outside of Ma and Tony, they realize that this is what the gobblers are doing. They are taking people's demons from them. Ma Costa sings to Billy, tells him that he can go to Ratter. Billy breathes in one last time and then dies. And then Tony and Ma sad and cry. And I sad and I cry.
Another moment of silence. And you wonder, why would they do something like this to children? Why would people be so evil? And it's about control. If you can remove somebody's soul, you can do anything.
Well, we think. We don't know for a fact.
That is a quote that I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Lyra is like, why? She's freaking out, like, why would they do this? Why would they take away Ratter and all of that? And I think it's Lee that says it's about control.
Yeah.
And basically, if you can remove their soul, then you can make them do anything. Because you have a part of them. You're in control. If you're in control of a part of somebody, you're in control of all of them.
Yeah.
And it's shitty. It is super fucking evil.
It is.
Guys, this is evil as fuck.
It really is. We switch back to Elaine. She sees the man in front of her house watching her while she's letting the cat in. It obviously is affecting her even more. Then we switch over to Boril and his lackey, who has found that John Perry has put a lot of money away for his family. And he knew he was going to be away for a long time before going up to Alaska, because he didn't just like...
Here's a chunk of money for while I'm gone. Here's a huge chunk of money. It's going to be paid out to you monthly.
Yes.
For a
long period of time.
Roughly 13 years now.
Yeah. And still happening.
And it's still going, and there's still a lot there. It's not a lot of money every month, but it's enough to take care of the necessities.
Yeah. His lackey suggests that they should look inside the house for a paper trail.
Yeah.
In the morning, Lee wakes Lyra up. She immediately knows that Billy has died, and she asks to go see him. She cries when they show him on the pyre. They all agree that they have to fight, and Ma says we have to kill.
Now we know what terrible wickedness these people are capable of. We have to fight. No, we have to kill. And there's a little bit of bloodlust. Ma Costa's got some bloodlust.
Understandably Mama Bear is angry. They light the pyre. John Foss sings. It's very pretty.
It's a beautiful dirge, yeah.
But also very repetitive.
Well, I mean,
it's a dirge.
It's more about the emotion than the words.
It's true, but it's very beautiful the way that he sings it. It has a weird flash over to Elaine sitting up at night and Will having a bad dream, I guess.
Later that night, there is a stealth raid on the Egyptians' camp.
Yes.
And
They kill so
They
many
kill
Egyptians.
so many people. I counted on screen 3. They showed 3 for sure.
I think there's a little bit more,
There
but
could have been more.
I can't remember exactly. I mean, you at least had like the numbers.
Yeah, but so they kill the 2 that are like up keeping watch at the fire, and then they kill a guy that goes out to use the bathroom, which that sucks.
Right? How rude.
But that also makes some noise.
And Pan hears
and Pan hears that and wakes Lyra up.
Yes.
And then he and Lyra go out to investigate. And Lyra, upon seeing a dead body, before she can scream and alert the camp,
Is hit upside the
she's
head.
knocked out
And kidnapped.
and taken.
And then the next time she wakes up, she is at, and I said the facility before,
She's at a facility.
a facility. We as viewers can pretty much tell that it's the station, it's Bolvanger,
Well,
but she doesn't quite have that information yet.
we can tell because the nurse that is interviewing her
Oh, true.
is the same nurse that
It
helped
is.
lead the children away
Yeah.
in London.
Yes. So, like, we as viewers should automatically know. If you didn't catch that,
If you
that's
don't
how
know,
you would know is the nurse,
now you know.
is the same nurse. They tell her that she is, like, going to be taken care of.
They
that-
ask her her name.
they
She
ask
gives
her
the name
name.
Lizzie Brooks.
and that then they bring her into another room. The nurses are nuns. They call each other sister.
Sister, yes.
It's noted that she looks like she's about to change.
And they classify her or identify
Category
her as
A.
Category A.
Higher priority.
High priority, yeah.
Needs to have the something happen to her sooner.
Prep for immediate treatment.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
They tell her to undress and that they're just going to check up on her and like change her clothes out. And it's not until that they are opening the cupboard to get her out the jumpsuit that she sees it and recognizes it as the same jumpsuit that Billy was wearing.
This is the outfit Billy was in.
and that's
there's
how
a
she knows
lot of
she's a
them-
Bolvanger.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them in the closet, and she realizes she's in Bolvanger.
This is where all this shit happens.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's heavy stuff.
It is some heavy
was
stuff.
a
This
really
was
good
a
episode.
Sad and good episode.
Really sad. I really want to get the song, that funeral dirge. So I'm going to try and throw that on the end of this episode.
Yes.
But why don't we
Go over to the and check in our alethiometer.
go check our alethiometer? But before we do that, let's thank the Hello Sweetie Podcast Network for having us on. Thank you to the Hello Sweetie Podcast. You can go to hellosweetiepodcastnetwork.com.
Yes, and you can get to listen to other awesome podcasts, kind of like ours.
Yeah, see all the shows that are on the network and go and support them and give them a listen, give them a reviews, all of that fun stuff.
Yes. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You want to talk spoilers?
Yes. We'll see you guys next week.
If you guys don't want to hear about any spoilers or anything, we will see you next week.
Hello, I'm the podcast without fear, Luke.
I'm the Uncanny Ryan.
I am Kylie the Poohdinger.
I am the superior Caitlin.
And I am the agitated Kyle.
And we are most of the Nerd Dome Podcast. Every Friday, some variation of this group gets together and talks about all things nerd.
The newest stuff in TV, movies, comics, video games, and more.
So join us in the Dome every Friday to hear all things nerd.
From a bunch of people who are probably a bit too into it.
Part of the Hello Sweetie Podcast Network.
Let's begin. We are in the fucking subtle knife territory. We are in book 2 territory, and this is the best book ever of the series. Like, this is the best. And we get our first official look at Will, who is Lyra's travel companion. I know you can basically put 1 and 2 together. They're like, oh, we're in a show, and now they're focusing on this boy. Of course, he's going to be another main character or something.
Yeah.
But, like, these two are the pair. Like,
they are it for the
are
show.
it.
They are the main characters together.
Like,
I mean,
ooh,
they're not together yet, but they will be.
but they get to be the main characters together.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to get to Chitagazzi. And I told you yesterday, so there's like a part in the audiobooks where there's like this mob of children that just start chanting kill. And it's like kill, 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 kill. And I wake up, like if I'm pissed off, I wake up with that in my head.
Oh boy.
And I have to tell myself, no, don't
No, don't kill.
Don't kill. Don't. But,
I guess if we haven't listened to the audiobook, we might not get it as much.
it's very recognizable
Yeah.
because they actually have children that they record for the voices of the children in that mob in Chitagazzi.
Yes.
So it's like legitimately, I can just imagine them being in the recording booth, like, all right, kids, now you're going to start chanting kill. And then they all just do it the exact same way because one establishes kill. So all of them, kill. Like it is.
Oh God, your children's voice.
It's bad. I can't do Vanna Herzog tonight, and I can't really do non-helium children. But yeah, we are officially hitting up book 2 stuff with the introduction.
Literally
actual introduction
everything
of
with Will and Elaine.
Like these are the first few chapters of
the subtle knife. It shows up and it's his side of the story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. On to my next red marking.
Yeah.
In the books, Lyra gets the okay to go on her side quest from Lord Fa and Father Coram.
Yes.
If she goes with Yorick, it's not a kind of, oh, Yorick, yeah, you can take her, right? And Ma Costa isn't supposed to be with the rescue mission. It's just a bunch of men.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so it's...
yeah, in the books, they decided not to take any of the women.
And then...
Because patriarchy.
So I'm glad that they had Ma Costa with them.
Yeah, they just took the whole group. It's men and women throughout the whole group.
But when she's beginning her... Like, they're running off in the night to go investigate this ghost. They see witches flying up in the sky, and it's like another tribe of witches gathering.
Yes, and they don't know if they're friendly witches or not, so they don't try to get their attention.
So there's that. So the boy seems to know that Will's mom is off somehow. So like, when they're boxing, I know we're jumping around to cover stuff, but
that's fine.
But when they're boxing, the boy kind of knows that there's something off. Like I kind of got that the boy knew that Will's sparring partner.
Oh, he totally
knew.
He was talking about like
even
her
fucking worse. That he was making fun of her and shit like that. I was always under the impression in the books that Will was doing a much better job of keeping his mother's mental ailments on the down low.
Yeah.
That there were some adults who would start to get curious about it, and he would be able to brush it off or steer them in another direction.
Yeah, I remember that
by being super helpful to his mom and super polite to them. And being able to like,
oh, he's such a nice boy, distraction.
Help keep it more low key on like taking care of her.
Yeah.
And
but with this like situation where it comes to Will's teacher, boxing coach guy, he clearly can tell that she needs help, and he says so. And Will also, the way he's just like, oh, it's just one of her worst days, she's still fine though. That very much gives off the impression that like the adults in his life kind of know she's on medication, that she has her bad days,
that she needs help. But
it kind of seems like for the most part, while she's fragile, she's like sensitive, she's also still has everything pretty under control. But
we're gonna see.
She doesn't. She's driven kind of that like mad a little bit by Lord Boreal.
Yeah. Lord Boreal's even more evil than we thought.
Yeah. So angry.
So that's basically it for my spoilers. I just wanted to geek out about the subtle knife.
I've got a little bit more, like the fact that they completely leave out Lyra fighting Yorick. Like he has her pull up a stick,
the kind of fencing thing,
and do the fencing thing of just like, here, let me show you that you cannot trick a bear, and like how it like, and it's all kind of internal. So I kind of understand leaving it out because it's her internal thought, but it's like they could have had him coaching her through it a little bit of just like, see, I can tell that you're going to jump to the right and then that you're going to feign left and all of this stuff, like the whole her fighting him because she doubts him. Of course she doubts him. She's
I can
she's
fight you.
clever.
I'm headstrong.
Like
yeah.
clever as fuck, and then being like in awe of him at the end of it, of just like, wow, armored bears are just so cool and so smart, and of course I could never trick him.
Yeah.
Type thing. In the shows, it's just like, I'm like a bear.
I'm partially like a bear, just like I'm kind of like Egyptian.
Again,
just like
I
I'm
love-
kind of like a witch, just like I'm kind of like anything that I admire.
Yeah, and I really like Lyra in this. Like, she is amazing. I love
Yeah.
the actress. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
the way that she's being portrayed, and I love all the additions that they're doing with her. It's just, again, I wish they didn't have to take away from the adults around her. And even Yorick is an adult.
Yeah.
In order to build her up.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's supposed to be all of these people that she admires and wants to be like, and that they are a part of the reason that she becomes such an
great,
amazing...
yeah.
Where the way that they're portraying her a lot, in last episode, taking Fodder Corum's and Jean Fa's lines,
Yeah.
and now taking away this part from Yorick, who he plays off of just like, oh, silly young cub type thing.
Yeah.
But still.
It's still it's not a decision I would have made, but on the same hand, I do feel like that scene in the book would be more difficult to
Yes.
to bring visually.
I can understand that
So
too.
I do like your idea of like basically him cutting her off before she even does anything. Like, oh, you're gonna go right. No, you're gonna go left now. You're gonna feint. You're gonna feint. You're gonna try and attack. Bop away.
Yeah.
Type thing. Like that would be a cool physical way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we need to have her actually be confident in her own ability to,
As she should be,
to trick
too.
a bear.
Yeah.
Considering that she's going to have to trick an armored bear
True. I
later
mean,
on,
like,
and like so.
it was pretty like leading there, because the whole like, you'll see, I'm like a bear, and
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I had mixed feelings about that. I don't super like that part that they took away, but overall I still liked the conversation and how he's just like kind of
Still fucking love the character
gruff
design of
and-
Yorick.
Oh,
Like,
he's amazing.
the CGI design is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you follow Lin-Manuel Miranda on Twitter?
Yes, I do.
You need to go and look at his tweets from earlier today, the day of recording this. He has some selfies from this episode.
Oh.
Like on set with this episode.
Uh-huh.
And it's really like, so there's some selfies from this episode. And then earlier this week, he posted a video of kind of behind the scenes of Yorick ransacking the town.
Oh, from last week.
From last week. So you get to see this dude like holding a bear head, dressed in all white, running around and like bashing the head into things. Like now he bashes through a door. So like, rah! And it's just like this dude holding this bear head, and it's really fun.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, that's about it. My last spoiler note is, if you don't recognize this nurse, you aren't paying attention. Did you not recognize the nurse
From the other episode?
from the end of this episode as the sister nurse that was helping Mrs. Coulter lead the children away in
Yeah,
London?
I recognized
Okay.
her. Hmm.
So she is very recognizable.
I think so.
Okay.
She's got this kind of docile look on her face, and also mean.
Yeah, more mean than docile.
I
but,
guess
like,
mean. Yeah.
But yeah.
My last thing is that I kind of an upsetness up again, but not that much, of how we kind of called it that Billy was totally going to take
We knew it was
Tony's
going to be
place,
Yeah.
and he was going to be the one that they find.
Because you can't have
Just
have the
throwaway.
drive
Yeah.
of rescuing the children without having that child being found. Mm-hmm. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's like, instead of it being a random child who, yes, we were introduced to
We
in the book
recognize,
and
yeah.
stuff, but it's just a random kid that dies. And this, it means a lot more to everybody in the group because it's
Oh,
Billy.
yeah. So this does kind of, I actually do like this a bit more.
Yeah.
Because in the books, the Egyptians are just like, yeah, they're on a mission to save the children, but this one's dead, so whatever. But this makes it more real. This hits the Egyptians closer to home.
Yeah.
than
Sorry,
just
and
some
I didn't
random
mean to
kid.
say I didn't like that part. I do like that part.
Yeah.
The part that I didn't super like is that they left out the fact that he's holding a fish.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like being like his demon because he doesn't have a demon anymore.
Yeah.
And then that she carves
Oh, she did. Like, they did need
not
to show
Ratter,
her.
but like Billy's in the book's name. Or no, yeah, Ratter, not Billy.
Tony in
Tony's
the book.
So she
with his
carves
demon
Ratter onto a coin and gives it to him a lot like the masters, the scholars in
I do
Jordan
wish
College.
they had shown that.
Yeah.
That is something that needed to be in there. Here you can be with Ratter again.
Yeah.
Here-
But she doesn't, they never really covered, they like kind of leaned
cover
towards
it,
the
but-
skulls, but they never covered the
that
coins.
that she knows that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's a very touching point in the books, and I do think that they needed that.
But they still made the whole thing very touching, even without that part. I just really liked that part in the book. So it would have been nice for it to be included as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. If you could go to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts and leave a review, 5 stars or max number of whatever. I don't really do Google Play or Spotify, so I don't know how they rate. But
if you review us with the maximum rating, 5 stars or whatever, we will read your review on air.
Yeah.
If you email us, you can tell us like your opinions on the stuff. If you agree with what we're saying, if you disagree with us, we'd love to hear it. We will reply. We might read it online.
we might
don't know.
read it. And you can email us at Our Dark Materials Podcast.
Our Dark Materials Pod at gmail.com.
Wow,
We didn't even say this last episode.
No.
I've been sick, guys.
It's been a rough few.
It has been.
But yeah, send us an email.
Are you checking an email
I'm
live?
checking to see. Yeah, we don't have anything.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah, like, rate, review, all that jazz. Thank you again to Hello Sweetie, and we will see you next time.
And
Next week in
Bolvanger.
Bolvanger. And we also might be meeting Mary.
Mary. All right.
Hail Mary.
So here's the thing. People aren't going to know that unless they listen to the book or listen to the audio version of it. But
Yeah, still.
that's a thing.
Hail Mary. Good night.
Yeah.